Hello students, this is Dr. Siva Nagaraju from IARE. Today we are going to discuss definition technology of module 2. So we know that technology is nothing but technical words that what are used in this module. So this module 2 of analog and digital course. Okay. So module 2 in analog digital communication course is nothing but angle modulation, that is frequency modulation. Okay. So we are going to see some definitions and technologies in this module. Yeah. Module 2. So module 2 covers the total analog modulation. So this module 2 is covered by second course outcome, and second course outcome states that interpret the generation and detection techniques of frequency modulated waves used for audio signal transmission systems. Okay. So first one is define modulation. So modulation is the basic term in either it is an amplitude modulation or an angle modulation. Okay. So modulation is the basic. So what is modulation? Modulation is a process in which the carrier signal is varied in accordance to the instantaneous value of the message signal. That message signal can be called as information bearing signal or also called as modulating signal. Okay. So whatever the modulation, so the process is same. Okay. Now define angle modulation. Angle modulation is a process in which the frequency or the phase of the carrier varies according to the message signal. This is further divided into frequency and phase modulation. Okay. So angle modulation is a process in which the frequency or phase of the carrier. Why? Here any signal having three parameters. One is amplitude, second one is phase, and third one is frequency or time, what it may be, you can call it. So in modulation means any one of the carrier, any one of the characteristic of the carrier signal. Here we are having three characteristics. So one of the characteristic of the carrier signal is varied. If one means if amplitude is varied, we can call it as amplitude modulation. If a phase is varied, we can call it as phase modulation. No, if frequency is varied, we can call it as frequency modulation. So angle modulation is a process in which the frequency or the phase of the carrier varies according to the message signal. And this is further divided into frequency and phase modulation. Okay. Now define frequency modulation. Frequency modulation is the process of varying the frequency of the carrier signal linearly with the message signal. Then you can call as frequency modulation. So here the frequency of the carrier signal is varied. It is varying linearly with message signal. Then you can call it as frequency modulation. Now define phase modulation. Phase modulation is a type of angle modulation whereby information is encoded onto carrier wave by modifying its phase angle as a function of time in proportion to the intelligence signal amplitude. Okay, so phase modulation is another type of angle modulation. Here the phase information is varied according to the message signal. We call that simply phase modulation. Define carrier. So for any modulation, carrier is required. So carrier signal is RF signal. So The RF signal in a communication system that has the modulating signal superimposed on it. That means here the carrier signal which is carrying this modulating signal. Just we are going to superimpose it. Why? This carrier signal is a high frequency signal, but the message signal is a low frequency signal. This low frequency signal, but this low frequency modulated signal is superimposing on this carrier. This one is the message and this one is the carrier. I am going to superimposing this message signal on this carrier. So this carrier which carries, okay. Define faster Sealy discriminator. The faster Sealy discriminator is also known as the phase shift discriminator. It uses a double-tuned RF transformer to convert frequency variations in the received FM signal to amplitude variations. So, faster Sealy discriminator is also known as a phase shift discriminator. Okay. Define a ratio detector. The ratio detector is a variant of the faster Sealy discriminator, but one diode conducts in an opposite direction and using a tertiary winding in the preceding transformer. So when you see the structure of this circuit, then it is easily understood. Okay. Define indirect method of FM generation. Indirect method is a transmitter originates a wave whose phase is a function of the modulation. Normally it is used for generation of WBFM. What is WFM? Wideband FM. So where wideband FM is generated from narrowband FM indirectly, not directly. Wideband is generating. First generating NBFM. From the NBFM, we are going to increasing the frequency. So it is wideband FM. So indirect method we are generating the FM. Okay. FM is the frequency modulated signal. Define de-emphasis. De-emphasis is by reducing the amplitude level of the received high frequency signal by the same amount as the increase in free emphasis is termed as de-emphasis. So free emphasis is done at the transmitter, where de-emphasis is done at the receiver. So free emphasis means you are boosting the amplitude level at the transmitter. So how much amplitude level is boosted at the transmitter, the same amount is going to reduce at the receiver. Such process is called as de-emphasis. For this operation, we are using a circuit that is free emphasis circuit at the transmitter, at the same time de-emphasis circuit at the receiver. Okay. Define slope detector. The slope detector is a method of FM demodulation which converts the received FM signal to AM and demodulates with envelope detector. Okay. So slope detection is the method of FM demodulation. Define phase lock loop. So automatic frequency correction in AF transmitter uses PLL, phase lock loop, to keep carrier frequency constant. And PLL is used to direct FM transmitter uses PLL to keep carrier frequency constant. PLL is also used in FM demodulators. So it is a loop. Another is zero crossing detector. A zero crossing detector is a type of voltage comparator used to detect a sine wave transition from positive to negative that coincides when the input crosses the zero voltage condition. When the input crosses the zero voltage condition. So zero crossing detector is a detector which detects the signal. Define average power of FM signal. So the amplitude of the frequency modulated signal is constant. The power of the FM signal is same as to that of the carrier power. So same carrier power. Define modulation index of FM. So the modulation index in FM is represented as beta. So modulation of FM is defined as the ratio of frequency deviation to the modulating frequency. That is delta F by FM. Delta F is the frequency deviation and FM is the modulating frequency. State Carson's rule. This rule states that the bandwidth of an FM system is double the sum of the maximum deviation and the highest modulating frequency. Okay. So according to this rule, we are going to find the bandwidth of the FM system. Okay. Define frequencies. So the artificial boosting of higher modulating frequencies is called free emphasis. So free emphasis is done at the transmitter. Already discussed at the de-emphasis. Okay. So free emphasis is done at the transmitter and de-emphasis at the receiver. A defined limiter. The limiter is used to remove amplitude variations by clipping the modulated wave at the filter output almost to the zero axis. So the limiter is to remove the amplitude variations. Okay. Define phase detector. A phase detector or phase comparator is a frequency mixer, analog multiplier or logical circuit that generates a voltage signal which represents the difference in phase between two signal inputs. So that is the phase comparator which compares the two phases between the two signals. Define capture range. Capture range is the frequency range in which the PLL acquires phase lock. So phase lock loop. PLL means phase lock loop. So capture range is the frequency range in which the PLL acquires phase lock. Okay. What is frequency synthesizer? Frequency synthesizer is a circuit that can produce a large number of output frequencies from a small number of fixed frequency oscillators. Okay. So it produces a large number of frequencies. Okay. That is a frequency synthesizer. Define direct method of FM generation. So previously we've seen that indirect method. So indirect method is used for wideband FM generation. Okay. So direct method, the transmitter originates a wave whose frequency varies as a function of the modulating source. So that is direct method. What is narrowband FM? When the modulation index is less than 1, the angle modulation systems are called low index. The bandwidth requirement of low index systems is approximately twice of the modulating signal. That means here my beta value is less than 1. So we can call it as narrowband FM. If beta less than 1, we can call it as wideband FM. So what are the types of frequency modulation? Based on the modulation index, FM can be divided into two types. They are narrowband FM and wideband FM. If the modulation index is greater than 1, then it is wideband FM. And if the modulation index is less than 1, then it can be called as narrowband FM. What is the basic difference between an AM signal and narrowband FM? Why? Because almost the bandwidth is same. Okay. So in case of sinusoidal modulation, the basic difference between an AM signal and narrowband FM signal is that algebraic sign of the lower side frequency in the narrowband FM is reverse. Just the sign. Both having the same. Okay. Define phase deviation. The maximum phase deviation of the total angle from the carrier angle is called phase deviation. The maximum phase deviation of the total angle from the carrier angle is called phase deviation. Define frequency deviation. The maximum departure of the instantaneous frequency from the carrier signal is called frequency deviation. It is written as delta F. Define the deviation ratio D for non-sinusoidal modulation. So, this Carson rule before you are discussing all our sinusoidal signals. Now, when the signal is non-sinusoidal, so the deviation ratio D is defined as the ratio of the frequency deviation F, which corresponds to the maximum possible amplitude of the modulation signal M of t to the highest modulation frequency. So these are all the definitions that are all covered in a syllabus also. But we are taking all this into a single group that is called definition terminology. What is the use of a crystal control oscillator? So the crystal control oscillator always produces a constant carrier frequency, thereby enhancing frequency stability. Where the frequency stability is required, is essential, frequency stability is essential. In such cases, we are going for the crystal control oscillator, not the local oscillators. The crystal is a stable oscillators. What are the types of FM detectors? The types of FM detectors are slope detector and phase discriminator. So these are the two types of FM detectors. That means we are going to detect the original signal from the frequency modulator. Okay. So what are the resultants of FM system? A much wider channel is required by FM. FM transmitting and receiving equipments tend to be more complex and hence it is expensive. Okay. So these are the disadvantages of FM systems. What are the types of phase discriminator? The types of phase discriminator are Foster Seeley and ratio detector. So having two varieties of phase discriminators, they are Foster Seeley and ratio detector. So write the advantages and disadvantages of Foster Seeley discrimination method. First, we will write the advantages. It is much easier to design. Only two tuned circuits are necessary and they are tuned to the same frequency, and linearity is better. And disadvantages, it requires amplitude limiting circuit. So there is a advantage and disadvantage of Foster Seeley discrimination method. Now, what are the applications of a phasor lock loop? So phasor lock loops are used for various purposes in AM and FM communication. So automatic frequency correction in FM. Transmitter uses PLL to keep carrier frequency constant. Okay. So PLL is also used in FM demodulators. So these are the applications of phasor lock loop. Now what is a diversity reception? So diversity reception is used when the signal fades into noise level. There are two types of diversity reception. One is a space diversity and then is a frequency diversity. That means the signal is faded. That means the amplitude of signal is going to reduce when the noise content is more. When the signal goes to multipath reflections, these fades are coming. Okay. Define space diversity. It uses 2 or more receiving antennas separated by 9 or more wavelengths. These are separate receivers for each antenna. The receiver with the strongest signal is selected. Okay. So diversity means we are using more antennas. So spacing. How much space is there? 9 or more wavelengths. At least 9 wavelengths we are placing for one antenna to another antenna. Okay. So this can be called a space diversity. There is 2 or more. Define frequency diversity. It uses single receiving antenna which works for 2 or more frequencies. The frequency which has strong signal is selected. So in both cases, either space diversity or frequency diversity, the strongest signal is selected. Okay. Define noise. So noise is defined as any unwanted form of energy which tends to interfere with proper reception and reproduction of wanted signal, which tends to interfere with the proper reception and reproduction of wanted signal. Okay. So what is a capture effect in FM? When the noise interference is stronger than the FM signal, then FM receiver locks to interference. This suppresses FM signal. When the noise interference as well as FM signal of equal strength, then the FM receiver locking fluctuates between them. This phenomena is called capture effect. Okay, so all the terms, technical terms, are used in frequency modulation are covered in this session. Okay, so what is meant by figure of merit of a receiver? The ratio of output signals to the ratio of output signal to noise. The ratio of the output signal to the noise to the channel signal to noise ratio is called figure of merit. So references, the content of information is taken from Simon Hacking, Sanjay Sharma, Jas Chitori. Okay. Thank you.
Like, share and subscribe. Hit the bell icon for more updates.